It's Krista here with you again today. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about narcissism again and a little bit about addiction and narcissistic mothers. I don't have a page made out that I read out of. I just do this by my mind. And again, my mind's running a little slow today. So I'm going to do the best I can. Um, It's funny how you go along with your life, and when you do have a mother that suffers from narcissism, whether it's covert, kind of under the rug kind of done, real kind of secret or slyly done to where you don't really notice it. Um, because they've got like a saint or a really helpful, nice times that she can be nice. And then there's the other overt style that they're just to your face like, well, you're a tramp, you're this and you're that, and you're never going to be good enough or amount to anything. Or where the more covert styles are just like they do little things, or just kind of they give you a different kind of a face, and they're not supportive when you're talking about your things that you are doing that you are proud of. They where they often can ignore it, change the subject, and often leave you feeling very um, invisible, ignored, and undervalued as a human being for your thoughts or feelings or anything. They're all just really underrelated. Um, it can lead to depression. Um, it can lead to serious people pleasing and leave you feeling very insecure and like it feels extra hard to go out into the world and feel like you can be a success at anything when you're underlying been told all your life that you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough, and where we have always been blamed for another person's inadequacies, or just unfringed, someone else's unfringed unstable emotions that they've never worked through. Obviously, they were raised with someone that was like that to them, and they're just history just repeats itself. Oftentimes, we don't know what to do. A lot of times, it's good going no contact or limited contact with these people if you can. I know that I am put back in my parents' home for a bit, since it can be heavy in some families, um, where the pull to maybe if you've left the family, maybe if you maybe quit speaking to that family as much, and you're trying to keep a job out there, or you're trying to raise children, maybe you're single today, or just struggling with your family. And these parents might be coming in or gossiping and telling stories to maybe even your own little squad or family, um, that saying lies about you or things that you did or are doing, or whatever it is. They can really play just like a log in front of you as you're walking. I can really sneak up on you. A lot of times we know that it's coming. We'll often maybe hide or maybe not answer their phone calls or whatever. And these people can get really angry. But when we get tired of them just crossing our boundaries, I know one thing that happens here since I've had to come back for a while. Um, and the reason that I'm back here is I have to say that you do have to take responsibility for what happened. But my parents did play a part in one of the reasons that I lost my license for a while. And of course, they made me pack all my bags and come back home for a while. And I seemed like I just kind of gave up on it because all my friends, as you all know, I am in and doing and giving some info about um, drugs and alcohol recovery in here. That I am at a place where I quit hanging around the drunks and the bars and was kind of in. I'm still kind of cocooning and changing friends and even some codependent or maybe more borderline women friends that I had, or people with more of a more toxic stuff going on in there, um, where you can pull yourself away from it and then you start seeing some of the red flags of these people and are they healthy or not for you to be around, or is that person going to get you to go drinking with them again? It can be really hard to pull away from that. And then on top of that, you have this toxic family, which usually is why we're addicted to begin with. Starts from with all this pain inside ourselves that we covered so well growing up, um, but got to the point where we needed to soothe ourselves somehow, and that was a quick soothing tool for a while. Um, Although it harms us, in the longer process of it all when we do become addicted. Um, Back to talking about like hoovering techniques. Um, your mom or whoever can really play the "we'll save you," "we love you," and like put on this really great act. But as you notice it over the years, as any abuser that I'm learning about can play nice for a while and really lift you on that platter again, and just adorn you with food, whatever you need, a person to talk to. And then after a while, it just fades off into nothing again, and you're back to being ignored, um, being ran over, being told what to do, as a lot of borderline style queen witch mode um, in these mothers can be quite terrifying. And that can be tough to overcome too, because you find yourself, even at like 40 years old, be like, oh crap, I'm gonna step around her today, or because this is actually a little girl or boy part of us that we're still healing from. I mean, I don't even care if we're up doing the work every day. It's not just going to take a little time to heal. It might take quite a while for that to the trauma from that. And because we were always taught to be scared of them, with their wrath, that punishing wrath that they would come down on us and beat us down, maybe by the silent treatment or by shaming us, or blaming us when it wasn't even our fault. How often have you seen this play in your own dynamics? It can be draining. Um, they can really do things like you might have bosses that go about changing appointments with you all the time, um, to where you never know where your next appointment with them is going to be or whatever. They might flip schedules around. They might forget to tell you about this or that, and you are left out. Maybe even the holiday gatherings, or even about your own children. If they're helping babysitting or help raise your kids, they can just do this takeover thing where they can act like the mother, and they do such a better job than you do, which happened to me, and just leave you out, not support you when they say they're going to, and then later um, they might take it away for you might not even have to do anything for them to do this. But you still have to play kind of like their kiss ass game in a way. You can not stand up for yourself, because that you have been raised not to have any boundaries. Um, you have been raised to push your painful feelings aside, and if you cry too much, you're a crybaby or whatever else. Um, I mean, excuse me, there was a phone call thing. Did you have someone to talk to growing up? Did they have time for you? Were they available? A lot of times with dysfunctional family, emotionally dysfunctional families, these people don't know how to regulate without. What I'm learning right now is about how they can use how they use others, and we are called their source of supply. Um, to gain their own emotional regulate. That's the way they emotional regulate, is through other people and gaining like their source of like love, energy, supply of other people's emotions. um, it's hard to understand, sometimes, especially for us empaths, because we can really try to see the good in everything. But I think it's important that we do learn these things, because even though it's very painful, especially when it does, however old you are, if you end up learning and having boundaries and breaking up that, what do you call enmeshed relationship with your mother or anybody else. Um, like when they say that they're your best friend and then they tell you all what's going on, even like the private stuff between maybe her and your dad. I mean, things that really are inappropriate. And when you're like a kid, you hear these things and you just don't know what to do. And it might haunt you in a dream that night or something, just things that don't feel right in your gut that aren't right. And they just take all your time. They might not let you have friends because they have to be the center of attention at all times. They have to be the center of your world. These people can really do damage. And back to the manipulation thing, I know one of my mother's favorite things to do is to move things around. Although one thing we share in common, and a good thing about us, is that we're both artists. And we can be friends in certain things. But when it comes to living with that person, or maybe working with that person, being in close contact with that person a lot, the emotional trauma bonding can be strong as they do use these punishments on you and then go back to the love bombing stage again, then devaluing and then dumping you off and not speaking to you or whatever it is that they do. Um, it can really leave you at a WTF moment where you're just like, what the beep, But as we start understanding some of the things that they do to manipulate, she can like move things around. I know last night I had a bunch of boxes that were brought from my old apartment over here until I can figure out what I'm going to do next. And she was actually, I told them I was going to bed and I went downstairs at night and she had pulled up a chair to my boxes and was looking through all of my boxes, looking for things that she could use, and different things. And basically, of course, you do try to be assertive and place some boundaries. And I think the understanding here that needs to be understood is that are they going to keep crossing those boundaries? Because I asked her to, I was assertive and stated that I wanted her to stop going through my things and just stop and put those things away because those were my things. And went back upstairs. The trick is to not become upset and fight back with these people like really aggressively because they can go into rage attacks, even where they can like uh, make it even worse and go back and try to punish you for something later, for that thing later, whatever it is, like just nasty. You find you might not be having a nice day the next day because they're on the phone talking to your ex or something, and just they're like laughing at you and just basically shaming you or whatever it is. Um, whatever disastrous little tricks they're coming up with, they might not even see that they're doing. But still, to make that a little less, if you're still living with a person like that, is to just use assertiveness skills, place some boundaries, and if they cannot or are not willing to make those changes yet, where they can respect your boundaries, um, you're going to have to pull away and do more no contact. And also, there was one thing about my father that he keeps doing right now, and that is these are elderly people too that are kind of dropping their mask a bit, and it just seems like uglier than before, but sometimes we forget how bad it was before. Um, that I have a Chihuahua, and when he puts the large dog out that knows what to do, um, we'll just let the dogs out and go to work. And here's my Chihuahua running across the roads, and, nobody's watching it or letting it back in after it's done going to the bathroom. It can be things like that. And when you ask them a million times over not to do that because they're going to get hit, and they just don't have those boundaries, they don't care. Um, what are you going to do, before they kill your animal? Just to make your life miserable is their goal. And it's just for them to feel better and more superior than you. Um, that is why limiting your contact is so important. And the quicker you can do it, the better. And if you have to work on it, please do, because these people can hoover you back by all means. It's really important to stay safe from some of these things that manipulators can pull. And that is only a short bit on narcissistic mothers. So, thanks for listening today. That was a tidbit of advice from me. And good luck. Have a nice day.